everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Speak English podcast. I'm David, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Sarah.
Hey, David. Hi, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be here. I'm super excited about today's episode because it's something so many English learners struggle with.
Yeah, tell me if this sounds familiar. You want to say something in English, but your brain freezes. You start translating. And then you just say nothing. It's frustrating, right?
Exactly. And that's why today we're going to help you break that cycle. We're talking about how to think in English without overthinking every word. Once you understand how to train your brain this way, speaking becomes way easier and more natural.
And we're not just sharing theory. We've got real-life tips, examples, and even a simple challenge that you can start today. So, if you've ever felt stuck trying to speak, you don't want to miss this one.
And if you're enjoying this kind of practical content, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to support what we do and to make sure you never miss an episode that helps you become a more confident English speaker.
All right, ready to get started? Let's talk about what it actually means to think in English and how you can start doing it today. When we talk about thinking in English, we're not just talking about learning more vocabulary or grammar. It's about the way your brain works during a conversation. Instead of translating, you train your mind to process thoughts directly in English, just like you do in your native language.
This might sound like a big shift, but it's actually a very natural one. Your brain is incredibly adaptable. When you consistently give it English input and practice forming ideas directly in English, it starts creating faster pathways, and the need to translate slowly fades away.
The mistake many learners make is waiting to become fluent before they start thinking in English. But it's actually the opposite. You become fluent by thinking in English. It's not something that happens overnight, but it does happen when you build the habit little by little.
One key part of this process is being okay with simple language. You don't need to form perfect or complex sentences in your head. What matters is fluency, not perfection. Thinking in English means forming simple thoughts quickly and clearly, which builds your confidence over time.
Let's say you're walking down the street. Instead of thinking in silence or translating your thoughts, you can say to yourself, I'm walking to the store. I see people. The weather is nice. These simple thoughts are building blocks. They train your brain to stay in English mode.
And this doesn't only help with speaking, it helps with listening and understanding too. When you're used to thinking in English, you don't get stuck trying to catch up in a conversation. Your brain becomes quicker at making sense of what's being said, and responding becomes easier.
This technique works best when you stop worrying about getting every word right. Thinking in English is about momentum. The more you do it, the less pressure you feel when you speak. Your confidence grows, not because you know every word, but because your mind stays in English.
In the next part, we'll show you how this works in real life. We'll take a couple of everyday situations and walk you through exactly how you can think in English, step by step. Once you hear it in action, it will make a lot more sense. So stay with us.
Let's start with something really simple. Making breakfast. Instead of translating every step, you just think as you go. For example, I'm opening the fridge. I want eggs. I take out the pan. I turn on the stove. These short thoughts keep you in English and reduce hesitation.
You don't need to speak out loud if you're not comfortable yet. This can all happen in your mind. The important part is that you're not switching between languages. You're just describing your actions or your thoughts in English using words and phrases you already know well.
Another example. Imagine you're waiting at a bus stop. Instead of scrolling your phone silently, try thinking, "There's a man with a blue jacket. That dog is barking. The bus is late again." You're not translating, just observing and forming natural English thoughts in real time.
Or let's say you're walking through a store. Think to yourself, "I need shampoo. Where is the shampoo? Maybe this aisle. No, that's soap. Okay, here it is." These are the kinds of internal conversations that native speakers have, and they're perfect practice for fluency.
It may feel strange at first, but this is how your brain adapts. When you practice this way every day, it becomes easier and faster. You start noticing that you can respond quicker in conversations because your thoughts are already being formed in English, not translated.
One tip that really helps is focusing on what you see and feel. You can think things like, "I feel tired. This chair is comfortable. It's too cold today." These simple observations are powerful. They create habits in your brain that make English feel more natural over time.
And if you get stuck, don't panic. Just keep the thought simple. Instead of, "I'm frustrated because the weather changed suddenly," try, "I don't like this weather. It was sunny. Now it's raining." Short sentences keep your mind moving and prevent overthinking or freezing.
So now that you've seen how it works, it's time to understand what makes this technique so powerful. In the next part, we'll talk about the real benefits of thinking in English and why this one change can make a huge difference in your fluency.
1. Of the biggest benefits of thinking in English is that it makes speaking feel more automatic. When you stop translating, your responses become faster. You don't pause to search for words as often because your brain is already living in English before you even speak.
This also reduces your anxiety when speaking. Many learners feel nervous because they're constantly trying to get everything right. But when you think in English, you focus more on communication and less on perfection. That mindset shift makes conversations less stressful.
Another benefit is improved listening. When your brain is already used to forming and processing English sentences, it becomes easier to understand others. You stop mentally translating what you hear, and instead, you recognize meaning instantly, just like in your native language.
And let's not forget about memory. When you think in English, you repeat key phrases and expressions naturally throughout your day. That repetition helps you remember words longer and use them correctly, without needing flashcards or grammar drills all the time.
Over time, you also develop better rhythm and flow when you speak. Because you're thinking in complete phrases, not word by word, you sound more fluent and more natural. You start using linking words, contractions, and intonation patterns without even realizing it.
Plus, it gives you more exposure to your own progress. You can literally feel yourself getting faster and more confident week by week. And that progress is deeply motivating. You stop feeling stuck at the same level and start noticing real improvement in your English thinking.
One of the most powerful things is the sense of freedom. You're no longer dependent on translation tools or frozen during conversations. You trust your instincts more, and even if you make a mistake, it doesn't stop the conversation. It just becomes part of the learning.
In the next part, we'll walk you through a clear step-by-step process you can follow every day to build this habit. Don't worry, it's simple, flexible, and it works no matter where you live or what your schedule looks like. Let's break it down together.
Step 1 is to start small. Choose a short part of your day, like brushing your teeth, making coffee, or getting dressed, and think only in English during that moment. Keep it simple. Describe what you're doing, what you see, or how you feel. No pressure, just observation.
Step 2 is consistency. Do this every day. It doesn't have to be long. Even 5 minutes is enough. The goal is to create a routine so your brain starts to expect English. Just like going to the gym, a little practice every day is more effective than a long session once a week.
Step 3 is to use what you already know. Don't wait until your vocabulary is perfect. Use the words and phrases you're comfortable with. If you don't know how to say something, skip it, or say it in a different way. What matters is keeping the thought process in English.
Step 4 is to build themes. For example, choose a topic like food, work, or travel, and try thinking about that theme throughout the day. This focuses your vocabulary and helps you reuse the same words and structures multiple times, which improves memory and fluency.
Step 5 is to narrate your day like a story. As you go through your routine, describe it mentally as if you're telling someone what's happening. Now I'm walking to the kitchen. I need to send an email later. I'm feeling tired today. This keeps the language active and alive.
Step 6 is to review. At the end of the day, take a moment to reflect. What did you think in English today? What worked? What words were missing? You can even write a short journal entry in English to reinforce what you practiced and notice your progress over time.
Step 7 is patience. This habit doesn't give instant results, but you'll feel the difference after a few weeks. Thinking in English is a long-term skill. If you keep going, even a little every day, you'll reach a point where switching languages feels unnatural. That's progress.
And finally, Step 8. Have fun with it. Use this time to explore your own thoughts in a new language. Make jokes. Be curious. Be creative. The more relaxed and natural you are, the more effective this practice becomes. Up next, we'll talk about what mistakes to avoid.
One common mistake is trying to think in perfect English all the time. Learners often freeze because they feel pressure to use advanced vocabulary or correct grammar. But that's not the point. The goal is to keep the language flowing, not to create perfect sentences in your mind.
Another big mistake is translating silently while thinking, even if you don't say the words out loud. If you're mentally going from your native language to English, you're still stuck in the translation trap. Focus on building direct connections between ideas and English words.
A third mistake is being too hard on yourself. Many learners quit because they think they're doing it wrong. But this is not a test. It's a habit. Some days will be easier than others. That's normal. What matters is staying consistent and accepting your progress, even if it's slow.
Some people also get discouraged when they don't know a word. They stop the entire thought just because of one gap. Instead, train yourself to work around it. Use simpler words, synonyms, or skip the detail if it's not essential. Fluency isn't knowing everything. It's being flexible.
Another mistake is waiting for the right time to start. People think they need to be alone, fully focused, or in a quiet space. But thinking in English can happen anywhere, while walking, commuting, or doing chores. It's about using your real life as your language classroom.
Some learners compare themselves to others and feel frustrated. But everyone has a different pace, background, and lifestyle. Thinking in English is a personal practice. The only person you should compare yourself to is the version of you from last week. Keep going forward.
A big trap is overcomplicating your thoughts. Trying to think in long, complex sentences can slow you down or make you quit. Start with basic ideas. Use simple structures like, I like this, it's cold, or I need to work. Later you can expand, but start with clarity and ease.
Now that you know the common traps, it's time to put everything into action. In the next part, we'll give you a simple challenge, something you can try today, no matter your level or routine. It's fast, it's fun, and it builds the habit one step at a time. Let's get to it.
Here's your challenge. For the next 3 days, choose one specific moment of your routine, like making your breakfast or getting ready for bed, and think in English during that moment. No writing, no speaking, just silent thinking. This builds the habit without pressure or stress.
You can start by describing what you're doing step by step. For example, I'm pouring water into the cup. The coffee smells good. I need to check the time. Keep it simple and honest. You're not performing. You're just training your mind to process the world in English.
If you want to go further, set a timer for 3 minutes. During those 3 minutes, think only in English about anything you want. Your plans, your feelings, or just what you see around you. When the timer ends, stop. It's a quick way to train your focus and build consistency.
And remember, no need to judge yourself. Don't worry about grammar or fancy words. The goal is not perfection, it's repetition. Just the act of trying, even for a few minutes, a day, will have a massive impact on your fluency over time. It's a small step with big results.
If you do this challenge for 3 days, you'll already feel a shift. Your brain starts to expect English in those moments, and that's how the habit grows. It becomes something you do naturally, not something you have to force. That's real fluency building in action.
You can also choose a theme for each day. Day 1 could be describing actions. Day 2 could be focusing on thoughts or feelings. Day 3 could be visualizing a simple conversation. Having a theme helps structure your thinking and keeps it fresh and interesting.
One more tip. Talk to yourself mentally, as if you were explaining your day to a friend. This helps you think in full sentences and develop a more conversational style of English. You'll start noticing words you need and gain confidence in forming complete thoughts.
Give it a try today. Even just 1 minute of English thinking is progress. In the final part of this episode, we'll wrap up everything and give you one last push to keep going strong. You've already done great by staying with us. Let's finish together.
Today we talked about how to think in English without overthinking every word. We explained what the technique is, how to use it, and gave you practical steps to make it part of your daily life. The most important message is this: you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent.
And remember, the way to real fluency is through small, simple daily habits. Thinking in English is one of the most powerful tools you can use, and now you know exactly how to start. If this episode helped you, leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your experience.
If you made it this far, it means you're serious about improving your English. So here's a fun way to let us know. Write the word think in the comments. That one word tells us you're committed, and it also motivates others to keep going too. Let's build this community together.
And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. When you do that, you help more people find this content and improve their English just like you. We're here every week with practical tips and support to help you speak English with confidence. See you next time.